Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for logging in to our first webinar of 2020 brought to you by the Belize Hotel Association in collaboration with Belizeing.com. Today, we have the pleasure of hosting Christian Villalba from Expedia as our guest presenter today. Christian is the Business Development Manager for Expedia Group, leading marketing online initiatives for Central America and Mexico. For today's presentation, he will be covering the emerging market trends for 2020. But before we get started, I'd like to make a special announcement that Belizeing.com is hosting, or we're having a very new product that we're very proud to showcase. It is the Belize Travelcast. So it is Belize's first travel-specific, destination-focused podcast series for the Belize travel market, aligning with today's topic for emerging market trends in 2020, I'd like to mention that podcasts are becoming very popular in North America with over 62 million weekly podcast listeners, with 61% of those listeners making purchases as a result of the podcast ad. Here is a quick promo that I like to show you for the Belize Travelcast.
Hello, my name is Jim Scott. I am a guest on the coolest podcast, and you can find us on any of the podcast searches out there. This is called the Belize Travelcast. Anyways, it's a really cool podcast about traveling in Belize, and they tackle a bunch of different subjects that will help you navigating your next vacation in Belize. I am a part of the Hospitality Training Services Belize. It's a little company. We do consulting and hospitality training. And we also have the coolest restaurant in Belize City called the 501 Hub. Anyways, don't forget about this podcast. That's Belizeing.com/podcast. See you out there and enjoy your travel and these podcasts as you plan your next vacation. Bye.
So that quick clip, as I mentioned, there is a very large audience who's listening to podcasts, and so sponsoring or advertising for podcasts is a very large and untapped audience. And so if you'd like to learn more about the benefits for advertising for podcasts, then you can check out this file that I'm going to share. But in the meantime, I'd like to pass it on to Alicia for some membership announcements.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the introduction, Angela. And thank you, everyone, for registering for this afternoon's webinar. I would just like to remind everyone that we are having our networking event next week, Tuesday, in Keykalker at Island Magic Beach Resort. It'll be from 5:30 until 7 p.m. If you want to RSVP, I ask that you do so by this Friday, and we look forward to seeing you all there. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome you, Christian, and we look forward to an amazing presentation this afternoon.
Thank you very much for having me. So happy to join this first webinar of the year. This time I'm going to present Generation Alpha and family travel trends, which is very important to realize the importance of these trends and how they can impact our resort market, and also what opportunities we have to optimize and maximize this kind of markets. So you're probably familiarized with Expedia Group and the different labels and brand comms that we do have. But did you know Media Solutions? Well, Media Solutions connects travelers with advertisers. And why is this important for you? Well, we do at Expedia have more than 2.1 billion monthly page views and more than 144 millions of unique monthly visitors. Which is important for you is how to maximize those opportunities and how to exposure your product, regardless if it's a DMC, a hotel, a restaurant, etc. So we do have a lot of opportunities, a lot of tools to help you out to connect with these travelers. We have a lot of opportunities in terms of targeting, in terms of generation of new audiences, and of course, unique support for you. So I can imagine you smiling or denying about classifications by age. Just for you to know, I'm not a millennial, I'm Generation X. But the important thing regarding these generations is, as I said before, how can we get advantage and how can we target each of them? Okay, so this time we're gonna focus on Generation Alpha, right? So in order to understand Gen Alpha, um, it is important and it's crucial to understand two things. These are the kids of the millennials, right? So that means that they already born with digital tools. They are digital natives, right? Probably his first picture was already in Instagram, right? The other important thing to realize is the economic and cultural impact that they are going to have in every single industry. So for this study or research, we use a scientific method. The important thing for you to know is that we are including the trends of US, Canada, and Mexico that are three major point of sales for your destination. So family travel with Gen Alpha. On average and globally, travelers with Gen Alphas are taking more than 3 family trips per year. Actually, family trips is the larger number of trips that this generation is going to have. So, understanding a little bit more about family travel. Well, the first thing to know is that somewhere with activities for the entire family. That's the first conclusion that we get when we are studying and trying to target families. Second place is a place where young children and kids will enjoy and play. A place that is kid friendly and safety is probably one of the most important things right here, as we can see in the fourth place. And the other one, it's a lifetime experience. You know that the millennials were inspired by experience, right? So it's not surprised to see experience reflected also on the Gen Alpha. The other important thing is that we are so concentrated sometimes in cost, right? But when it comes to family travel and experience beats expense, which is a great opportunity for our destinations, right? We are always looking forward to have a better ADR, right? And lay of stay, a larger lay of stay. So this is very important for you to know that families are able to pay more if they find that you have all the resources that they are looking for. So when we talk about entertainment when traveling, what are the aspects? What are the displays that they are looking? Well, they are inspiring watching videos online. They are inspired by Instagram, taking pictures, playing games, video calls with text, researching nearby activities. So it's very important that you make sure that on your brand.com and in any other channel, make sure to describe all the facilities and all the playgrounds that your property had on even the destination. They are also reading and influenced by reading articles online and of course social media. So what about the basics of the Gen Alpha? Well, here's a snapshot about the family travel trends. You can see that in average, they are spending almost 7 days per trip, which is a great lay of stay for any destination, especially on resorts, right? So the type of trip that they usually choose is mainly for family plan vacation. Okay. Second tier will say it's relaxing. They are looking for a relax in a destination that they had a chance to relax and disconnect a little bit. Also, in the third place is visiting family or friends. And the fourth and last one is sightseeing. So as we mentioned before, they are very interested in experiences. Okay. Um, it also got my attention that 68% of the family travel happens in the same country versus 32 that goes to another country. And probably this is because travel with family is a little bit more complex than travel alone or with your couple, right? Um, the question is specific about budget. Is it budget important? The 79% says yes. And you will say, hey, Chris, but you just mentioned that they are able to pay, right? Yeah, it's true, but it's still a concern, right? especially if you are competing against another destinations that are all inclusive. So this is very important to take in consideration. Nearly 60% of the family travelers stayed in a hotel in their last trip. So I know there is a lot of concern in many destinations about alternative lodging, but according to this research and study, travelers still prefer hotel and resort. So you can see that 58% goes to hotel, 21% went to a resort, 70% stay with a family or friends, which is just happened, and 60% plan to stay on a vacation rental or alternative lodging. So we always listen about location, 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 right? Well, there is no surprise. Location is still number one factor. Then we have family needs. So it could be that a family has probably teenagers, right? And probably when they are looking at an OTA or in another channel, right? Many properties only accept 2 adults and 2 kids, right? So we have to make sure to review our occupancy by room type so we don't lose this family need, right? The third place is the price, of course, and then family-friendly offerings, and we will go deeper in this tab. Then large room size, especially for US travelers, very important to include square meters in some cases. That's a good recommendation. Also to make sure to have the room type picture on the room type listing. That's a must. And the last place is the dealer promotion. Of course, we had to learn how to highlight the value adds of our resort, the value adds of any single offer. But how family travelers get around in the market? Well, of course, if they are traveling in their own country, right, personal car is the first option. Walking is the other one, then, especially in some colonial destinations or downtowns. And then rental car, which is, I was surprised about seeing rental car in the third place. Then public transportation, taxi, and some others. So how do they spend? Budgeting for the basics. Not surprised to see, and I'm happy to see, right? 24% of their budget goes to the hotel decision, which is good enough, right? But I was surprised about the second place. Food is really important. And remember, these are the kids of the millennials. They are traveling with millennials or they are traveling with other members of the family. So no surprise to see food on the second place of the budget. The third place is flight. So you can see that food is sometimes more important than flighting. Okay. The fourth place is tours, which is also very good for the DMCs, and especially if we are trying to work on the experience side of the shopping of the travel. And then we can see other important factors as transportation, shopping, vacation rental if they are renting a car, experiences, gifts, childcare, or even other aspects of their travel. So going deeper into the trip types, well, travelers with Gen Alpha go for relaxing and family play trips, right? So 55% looking forward for relax and disconnect, and this is just perfect for leisure and resort destinations as we listen. Then 54% they are planning a really, a real experience within the family. Okay, so they are looking, yeah, for what is in the resort for the family and how friendly it is, but also what else can I do? Can I take a tour? Can I go to a route? Can I go to see a museum, etc., etc.? Okay, so we already see visiting families and friends on the destination is also important. Sightseeing, so you can see many hotels having this square, where you can take a picture and you can hashtag everyone, etc., etc. 25% are looking also for this part of romantic getaway. So even though they are traveling with their kids or with the family, they are still looking for romance. Okay. And probably about the leisure term that Expedia presented a few years ago. So leisure is the combination of leisure travel with business. So it's the people that go to a certain destination probably from Tuesday to Thursday, right? And then they expand their vacation just to know the destination. So that's the leisure travel, okay? And some others, and this is getting very popular, I will say, in some other destinations, and that is why many brands are having DJs or any specific a specific event, because events is taking also an important part of the trending for 2020 and the years to come. So what are they doing when are in the destination? So they respond that theme parks and attraction is probably the most important part of the destination, and that is why I said that we have to make sure to include as much information as possible, not only about our property, but also about the destination. On the second place, water activities, which again is great for the resorts, right? And for beach destinations. Outdoor activities and eco-friendly things, it's also a trend, okay? Also important in the fourth place, as you can see, historical landmarks, okay? So it's very important to make sure to have the Google map accurate on your property, accurate on every single place, so they can see the distance between an historical landmark from your property, okay? Of course, as we saw, they are foodies, so dining experiences, it's also there, okay? So make sure, again, that the name of your restaurants and specialties are listed on our websites. And of course, as we can see before, museums are important. Educational experiences for some destinations are also important on the decision. So why and how Gen Alphas includes on the planning for millennials and some other generations? Well, if you have kids, probably you know that nearly 9 in 10 families, they consider their kids in the decision to go to a place for vacation, right? So 80% of the millennials or Gen X ask their kids about where they want to go for vacation, okay? So out of it, very frequently, 27%, I mean, they said that their kids influence their decision very frequently, okay? 53% somehow, okay? 70% not very frequently, that probably were my parents, right? And 3% never, that never consider their kids on their vacation. So as we can see, it's very important to take in consideration and to have the information available for this alpha gen, so they can influence their parents to go to their destination. So travel ideas come from everyone in the family, right? 33% of core adults, 60% both, and 7% children, okay? Just going deeper into the decision factor. But once they decide a destination, right, what are the sources? Well, 63% said that they use online travel agencies to influence their decision for their travel. 46% family, friends, or colleagues. 46% search engines as Trivago. 43% joke children. 35% social media. 28% online videos. So as you can see, when we are creating a plan, a marketing plan, and 22% online ads, right? So when we are creating a plan for your property, we have to make sure to take into consideration a little bit of all of this in order to create the perfect formula. So a little bit more insights about Gen Alpha. Well, they extract a lot of information for a lot of sources, right? Remember that this generation is a digital generation, right? So they use a lot of video calls, chats, texts, etc. with, you know, the crazy amount of apps that we do have nowadays. They are the whole day watching videos. They are also watching informative videos, not only commercial videos. Of course, you know, they are pretty much social, right? And they are also reading some online articles, especially very target online articles. Oh, sorry, I went. There we go. I'm looking also for travel options, okay? Of course, shopping is important and doing homework if they are traveling on any specific seasonality. So destination and activities are top considerations, right? So the destination we choose, the activities we choose to do on the trip, the length of the time we travel for, which is important, right? Because remember, they are traveling with babies sometimes, so they prefer or they tend to have short flights, right? The hotel we choose, and this is very important, and I'm gonna make a pause right here because it's very important, as said, that we review all the content that we have online and make sure that we are talking to the variety of the generations that we have, right? So sometimes we just said, well, yeah, we have a restaurant or we have two restaurants, but is it an Italian restaurant? Is this a Caribbean restaurant? Is this a Mexican restaurant? What kind of food are you offering, right? Oh yeah, we do have a pool. Okay, that pool, is it include a kids club? Is it in a specific amenity for the kids, etc. Okay, so this is shocking, right? 7 in 10 travelers doesn't have a clue, right, of what destination they are going to visit. And we're talking about leisure travelers. So 70% of the travelers are between one or any other destination. Okay. Here in Expedia, we run a lot of tests, right? We do have a lot of information for travelers, and you will surprise that, for instance, a couple that is thinking to go to Niagara probably ends up in Cancun, right? So this information is about going deeper in this trend. So 60% said that they are deciding at least between two destinations, right? So it could be Belize, it could be DR, it could be Los Cabos, right? Only 29% already decide a destination, okay? So as you can see, it's a very limited number, 3 out of 10, right? And more than 10% says that they don't have a clue of the destination they are going. So how to inspire them, right? Well, 66% says that they may need some help. 5% says that they need a lot of information. They require a lot of inspiration. And 99%, 29%, sorry, said that they don't need any help in their making decision. So here is the opportunity for marketers, right? Appeal to head and the herd of family travelers. So 5 recommendations: appealing imaginary, right? We all know that this is a very visual generation, right? 53, it's about deals, okay, 53%. 50%, it's up to informative content, and this is free. This is up to you, right? Make sure that your ads are appealing, make sure that your content is appealing, okay? Helpful reviews. This could be a decision maker. I mean, once they decide a destination, the same happens with the properties. Am I going to property A or property B or property C, right? And in many cases, the traveler opinion, it's a huge factor on their decision, okay? And 35% simple language. Am I flying, am I traveling to a country that speaks the same language that I am, okay? So in Media Solutions, we do have this funnel of conversion, right? So basically it separates in 3 stages. So the first one is the top funnel conversion, right? When you're making brand strategies, right? When you say, hey, you know, Chris, my property or my brand is not recognized in US, it's not recognized in Canada. You know, I'm seeing that I want to make some brand for that specific audience. So we have this this product to help you to influence that that audience. Okay. The second one is the middle funnel, and probably you are familiarized with our co-op campaigns. Probably you can create an email strategy, okay, to approach your better clients. Okay, and then we have the bottom funnel when we are talking about conversion. Okay, I want to target those travelers that already know that they are going to come to my country, to my neighborhood, to my destination, right? So how can I influence the traveler that it's already 100% secure that it's going to release it. So the Travelers Sponsored Listing, right? It's a pay-per-click program that helps your property to get that top visibility on our search results. So key takeaways from this. First, planning is collaborative. In no matter which generation, planning is collaborative. So it's important that we can target and we can create a plan to target each of the generations. Okay. Second one, entertainment and happiness for all. And this is a trend regardless the destination. This is a trend regardless generations. So as you can see, many international brands, hotel brands, and cruise brands, etc., are making incredible efforts to create new brands that targets in experience, that targets in entertainment, that targets to adults only, that targets to family and friends. Okay, and the third one is convenience over price. So we have to make sure to showcase information, the value adds, the content of our property, of our destination as well. Here are the information where you can see the full research, and also you can see another helpful studies, very interesting information that you can download. Also, searchsolutions.expedia.com is a place where you can find more information regarding our pay-per-click platform, Travel Ads. And finally, my contact, and open the floor for Q&A.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Christian, for that wonderful and insightful presentation. I do believe that times have changed and traveling has changed throughout the passing of time. And of course, a lot of trips traveling to other destinations have been inspired by things like Instagram photos, interesting blogs, even YouTube videos and podcast episodes. So we really appreciate all the statistics that you have provided today. And I do hope that those who are watching have made notes. If not, you can download a copy of the presentation from what I have shared on the right corner of your screen. Of course, if you have any questions for Christian about anything that he discussed or mentioned in the presentation, please send them through the chat. Meanwhile, we wait for those questions. I'd like to encourage all BHA members to send in your blogs for the month of February. The topic is romantic travel in Belize or at your property. So what you can do for Valentine's Day in Belize, what lovebirds can do in the month of February in Belize, or however, whichever month you want to travel Belize to. Whatever blog posts that you have, please feel free to share them to Alicia so we can post them on the blog site. Do you have any membership?
One question from Juan.
Okay.
He's asking, Christian, is the data that you provided, is it from the US or is it pulled out from other countries?
It includes other countries. It was US, Canada, Mexico, Japan, Australia, Brazil, and I think I'm skipping one. But yeah, actually, it's comprehensive data and includes the trends, especially of the US, but also the trends from other countries.
Okay, okay. Okay, great.
Okay, do we have any other questions?
So far,
For the download, I have already shared the file. You should be able to see it on the right corner of your screen. Let me see it. If not, then
and for our,
yes.
sure, go ahead, Angela.
No, I was going to say that if you can't download it from here, then you can just email Alicia and she can forward it to you.
Yes, and then for our BHA members, it will be uploaded on your member only section, so you can always log in and view the presentation from there as well.
Okay, yeah. So, okay. Next question from Odalis is, she said, What's for the stats and time? Wait, what's this? The I think she's asking what's the period of time the stats were taken, or what's the time period, like between how many months or weeks, I guess, the stats were taken.
You mean the stats from this research?
Yes.
Yeah, it was taken in consideration a couple of months of 2018. Actually, on the methodology, it includes the exactly correct dates of the time frame for this research.
Okay.
Okay, and then we
Um,
have two more questions, Angela, from Cornell and Abner.
so the first one is, what is the average group size of a family?
For this specific research, one of the aspects was a family that has kids between 0 to 10 years old, regardless
Okay.
of the age of the parents.
Okay. And then the next question from Abner, do you have any specific trends you can share that relates to Belize bound travelers? Anything surprising for the Belize market that you know of could be useful for our stakeholders in developing our marketing strategies?
Absolutely. I'm happy to provide more detailed information. If you can shoot me an email, I can provide that information and also talk with your market manager from Expedia Minor in order to get the specifics or your property of any specific submarket.
Okay, great, great.
Any other questions?
See?
Okay, so I have published the link for blog submission for BHA. I'm going to remove it now, but if you do want to ask any other questions about the blogs, what are some of the specific details or requirements of the blogs, feel free to email Alicia or Miss Penny from the BHA for more details. I'd also like to share the links for that Mr. Christian has provided. So this one is for Expedia Group Media Solutions. Can you just explain a little bit more about what this offer is?
Absolutely. The travel ad site, it's for those properties, those hotels that are interested in get more information about travel ads, which is our pay-per-click program. As I explained, it's the solution that Media Solutions offers for hotels specifically to be on the top listing on our search results for Belize, right? And then the second one, which is blog.advertising.expedia.com, it's about where you can download Gen Alpha study and so many others. So we constantly public this kind of research, and it's free to download.
Okay.
That's really
Sounds
good.
very interesting.
Okay. So, does anyone have any other questions for Christian or for Alicia or myself?
I think that's all our questions for today, it looks like.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Christian, again for that presentation. I really, really enjoyed it. And it was very interesting to know what are the travel trends for, or at least what Gen Alpha is influencing right now. And of course, we want to encourage everyone who watch to reach out to Christian if you have any other questions, and then just take note of what was shared. I mean, we live in a digital world now, so all of us are influenced by what we see online. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, Believing.com recently launched our podcast. It is the first travel dedicated destination oriented podcast for Belize. And I would like to mention that we do have sponsorship packages. And considering that the audience is very large, it is providing a lot of value for your company being a sponsor or an advertiser for any podcast. So if you'd like to learn more, please feel free to check out this file that I'm going to share with you to learn about the benefits for advertising for our podcast. Thank you so much, Christian. Thank you, Alicia, for coming on and presenting. Thank you, everyone, for logging into this webinar session. I know that it is the high season and everyone is busy, but I do hope that it is valuable resource to you. And I do hope that everyone has an enjoyable evening today. Okay,
All right. Thank you, Christian. Thank you,
Thank you very
Angela.
much.
thank
Happy to
you.
enjoy. Have a
Thank
good
Okay,
one.
you.
bye bye.
Bye bye.